Welcome back everyone to Fallout Doomsday. And yes, it's been a heck of a long time since I've done any of this. Actually, I promised a few people I would do an Enclave playthrough, and as you can see, I am playing as the Enclave. I ended up kind of forgetting about all of that, but good job on reminding me, because I had completely forgotten. And yeah, I'm going to be coming through with this. Now, in case you've never seen this before on my channel, this is a mod for Darkest Hour Hearts of Iron game that brings the Fallout universe into, of course, Hearts of Iron. It's the only pretty much complete playable Fallout mod out there for Hearts of Iron, or for any Hearts of Iron game, I believe. Maybe there's something for HOI free, I don't know. But yeah, it's basically based on Fallout 2's universe, so it's set actually before the starting date of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, so the eastern side of the United States where Bethesda has done their games is, well, definitely different than what you expect, whereas the west coast is pretty much normal Fallout stuff from, of course, Fallout 2. I mean, by the time of Fallout New Vegas, which is what most people will know probably, all of this will be NCR, and then you have over here, of course, Caesar's Legion or Kaiser's Legion, depending on what you want. And up here you'd have a New Vegas, but there's no New Vegas yet in this mod's timeline. So it's actually Darkest Hour, not Hearts of Iron 4. In case you've never seen this, this is how it looks like, pretty much what you'd expect. Let's start with some research. We can actually have this faster than we normally have because we have a blueprint. Basic human regulars, but we're 5 years in advance, so that research would be extremely slow. Basic research mechanics are the same to Hearts of Iron 4. If tech is ahead of time, you're going to be very, very slow at researching it, so you'd rather want to research things that you aren't ahead in. For example, mercenaries right now. Attachments, we don't really have anything, it's still all too early. Can't get engineers though. However, maybe we get some industry. Yeah. For some reason we don't have animal husbandry, even though we all have all these other things. What is it gonna be faster at researching this? Looks like actually this guy was the best at researching all of that, so off you go. Putting some industry down, of course pretty important to get, increasing our production. Departments of supplies, because we start off with a very strong industry at 76 IC, so we are going to need a lot of resources to boost that up and keep that running. Otherwise it's gonna... Well, this is not Hearts of Iron 4, where you can just kind of run your industry even when you don't have resources, just at a reduced effectiveness. In this game, if you do not have enough energy, which is over here, this resource, to sustain your factories, they're going to just shut down and not work at all. So you have to be very careful about that. And of course, Enclave board is good for barter economy. Okay. Well, there we are. Still got one extra slot, which is where... Ooh, could go with Organized Navy. It's going to be pretty important as the Enclave. Yeah, because we start off with a fleet, and we have possessions scattered all over, so we're going to need some naval techs in order to keep the dominance. So, technology done. Economy. So we have a lot of extra IC... according to the game, but most likely the supply need just didn't get enough calculations done yet. Still, we can safely assume that, really now, 70. Well, yeah, okay, we can safely assume right now. What about you in Alaska? Oh, I just can't build anything here because we probably don't have convoys set up to here. Safely assume that we can build some factories and still have some to spare. Now, we don't have a lot of manpower, so I don't think we're going to have enough for... Actually, no. An infantry regiment is only 4 manpower. So, let's start right off. Building some infantry. There we are. We're going to upgrade them in case. And we're going to start to load on artillery. Because we need artillery to outfit our troops. Just so they can win their fights. And there we are. That's basically the end of the setup. Let's start. Well, according to... Let's just very quickly overview the forces that we have. So land units, we have like 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, if I counted correctly. 4, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, okay, 14. Some of them, though, are actually blocked in their locations. For example, the Fairbanks garrison, which is actually completely cut off from supplies, so they're probably just going to, you know, die. Can we... Damn it. Doesn't seem like we can retrieve their brigades, which is annoying, because they're cut off from supplies. Or actually, no, it's because they're locked. Anyway, there's also the special troopers here, the power armor infantry. They're also locked, so that's very annoying. And then there's some random garrisons scattered about. So the actual mobile combat units that we have available are these 2 infantry divisions, these 2 airborne divisions, scouts, that are, of course, at a very high tough level. They're powered, and they've also got experience, so they're going to be very strong. And they have Death Claws as an equipment, so they're going to be extremely strong right off the bat. And we have another infantry, so 3 infantry and 2 scouts. Not the biggest mobile army right off the bat, but they're very strong considering the tech level. We have an air transport unit, actually, so let's very quickly get this air transport to resupply Fairbanks. It's going to cost us some fuel, but it's going to keep these units alive until we can get a connection established. And as for Navy, we have a 4-ship main fleet, 1 of them being a freighter, 3 of them being corvettes. So it's actually not that strong, but we're going to be expanding that eventually. And so we can now pause. There's probably going to be some events. I'm going to read through these, although not this one. This is just like explaining mechanics. Mechanics are okay, and we can actually change our policies. Last time we played as the NCR, who are kind of good guys. Well, even though there aren't really good guys in Fallout, they're kind of nice. Okay, comparatively, the NCR is nice. The Enclave is not nice. We are dicks. What we want to do is... Well, we probably don't want control over the economy. What we want, however, is... We want paid army and war aims. So let's go for war aims. We're going to max out war aims and intervention so that we can maximize our potential of invading other countries and producing, of course, military goods. Welcome, Mr. President. So, my name is Corporal Jones. It's this guy, actually. Yes, it's him. After the death of your predecessor at the oil rig facility in that unfortunate incursion, all executive power has been transferred to you as per Standing Emergency Order 117 of the Enclave's board. We stand ready to receive your commands. Okay, thank you. I am the president. Blue emu mode. What? Get all the benefit it normally gets on very hard. Apparently I am on blue emu mode. I have no idea what that means. I think you can't switch difficulty mid-run in Hearts of Iron 2. But oh well. Well, you cannot do that either in Hearts of Iron 4. Damn. These games don't really have a lot of functionality, do they? Anyway, so security has been increased after the unfortunate accident that killed my predecessor. Let me state that we are the true and lawful authority of the United States of America. I cannot and I will not allow the great traditions of this land, the ideals of democracy, freedom, and justice to simply pass away. The USA must be restored under the Enclave's leadership. What was that, Corporal Jones? Nation called the USA is based around Washington, you say? Nah, nothing about it. Group of rebels, trust me. We are the true democratic authority. Cough, cough. Something caught into your throat, Corporal? I will, of course, relinquish all emergency power to hold free and fair elections once the current post-apocalyptic emergency is over. So, in case you don't know too much about the Fallout universe, let me very quickly explain what's going on. So, after a nuclear war between, well, the various great powers, but especially the United States and China, in the, well, far-flung reaches of the future over here, of course, the government completely collapsed. And there's now various different authorities and factions and societies that have formed all throughout the remnants of the old United States. One of them being the Enclave. The Enclave is basically the... it's a bit of a... I guess you could say, mix between the Shadow State, the New World Order, and the American government. There was a bunch of elites that controlled the American government, and now they are part of the essentially, in a way, aristocratic bid to maintain control over the remnants of the United States. They have some genocidal tendencies, of course. They think that everybody in the Wastelands is, well, kind of their little thing to play with. Anyway, so Fallout Doomsday mod. Yes, the history of the Fallout world and detailed gameplay thing. Tips, no, not really. Of course, traits. Let's not go for traits. Traits are pretty good, but I will not get traits just so I have a very vanilla experience. Those traits would just would give me a permanent bonus and penalties to some of my stats. Well, my stats, my country's stats. Actually, one thing that we need to do right now is get this guy transported to Point Charlotte, just to have a garrison over here. And basically, well, actually, I don't have events showing up in the message box. Now, I am going to choose to have events show up, just so that I know what is going on. But, this is gonna lead to a lot of spam. This is gonna lead to a lot of spam, because this is how, of course, Hearts of Iron works. Before Hearts of Iron 4, you have events that make things happen and not national focuses. Okay. So we get tech heroism, actually, which is secret tech. Oh, well, we can't research it. Anyway, basically the Enclave is the remnants of the United States government, although there's also a remnants of the United States over here in Washington, D.C., which is now about to be almost wrecked. Well, who knows. And then there's other big factions like the NCR over here that have some sort of real world counterpart, I guess you could say. The NCR is the New California Republic, of course. But then most of these are just like new societies that have sprung up after the you know, society collapsed. For example, here the Kaiser's Legion in Nevada. I believe that's Nevada. Is it? I have no idea. I can't click on these because I have an event. But yeah, they have sprung up as well, and we're gonna need to deal with them. To reclaim our obvious United States, you know. So you've been given an important choice ahead of you now. You have been handed the self-destruct codes for Polar Station Zeta, a pre-war military base located in the North Polar region, which is up here. This, what is that color even? It's a bad color. Anyway, it's over there. If you transmit this on your most powerful radio, it will be detected via a still working military satellite and relayed to the functioning computer system in the base. You know that this base is being used by someone who is running an intelligence network across the Wastelands. If you destroy the base on that person, it will have far-reaching consequences, including in later years when your nation has presumably become more powerful and is in the endgame phase. This is the endgame boss event sequence, but last time it didn't work. Or maybe I did something different. I am not gonna send it. But I think last time I mistakenly sent it. But yeah, there's something that's gonna happen up here. It's gonna be like what we need to deal with in the late game, because in the late game you get very, very strong in Darkest Hour. Okay, so the Savage Beasts. So basically all of this black shit that you see surrounding us is the Wastelands. Now, the Wastelands, we can't go in them yet, but soon enough they're going to be populated by all sorts of bad things. We're going to need to exterminate them so that we can actually get our bearings set up and expand. So the Wastelands are filled with mutant beasts. Brave adventurers have found and slain many, but some remain. A beast that can strike without warning during the game and crash them all. Yeah, of course, that's just an interesting and lore-friendly way of warning us of what can happen. Anyway, for now, the reason why we cannot expand at all is because we need to wait until all of this is going on fire. And so this is also our government. Our governments give us a few modifiers, as you can see. So we are a pre-war government. Supreme Leader, I'm glad to tell you that we have successfully restructured our government system based on pre-war origins. We even think of opening up a parliament. However, that would cost a lot of money, and so obviously we cannot do it, which leaves you in charge. Long live the leader. Anyway, you are well positioned to rebuild state industry and infrastructure, and we have taken direct control over a number of manufacturing centers. So this increases our industry because we are a pre-war government. That is determined by these sliders over here. Because we are very inhumane and we try to go for order, so we're a pre-war government. Of course, we can change around. Hollywood is stupid. This is just a bunch of pop culture references. And I think Hollywood is stupid. So no, because I wouldn't understand half of them. And as you can see right now, from the 90-something industry that we had, well, the way this works is actually these three numbers are a wasted IC, effective IC, and physical IC is what I call them. The physical IC or base IC is the one that you actually have in your country. Like, for example, if we were to look here, this island, Unalaska, has 48 IC. That is a huge amount. And that all of that gets summed up into this number 76, which is what goes into this. This summed up is all, well, it's not 76, it's 48. Why? Because we do not have enough resources to run 76 factories, so our effective IC right now is actually 48. But for example, if we were able to run all of our factories, it would probably be higher than 76 because of all of our modifiers increasing our IC that you can see down here. Once I get this off, for example, the tech that we have increases our IC by 32%, which is why we would actually have a higher number. Anyway, this was organized barter economy. So, well, could do early trade caravans. Early factories is a little bit too early. Maybe something in social tech. Free ranchers, bottle caps. Bottle cap money. Yeah, sure. Let's just continue down that line. And interestingly enough, we did not get an event explaining who we are. But, oh well. Anyway, basically, now we're just waiting for the Wastelands to fire up. We could try to declare war on some people, but that would be a bad idea. This early. And as you can see right now, the USA is kind of getting gangbanged. That's fine. In our position, we're in a pretty good spot to expand also. Hold on. Yeah, okay, so he he is pausing the game. Didn't seem like it. Anyway, so I can't get any more sea stuff. Get any more sea stuff? We could go with something like this. No. Still too early for all this. And actually, we have a blueprint for meat grinder army training. Do we want that? Probably not. We probably just want professional army training, because that is going to increase everything. Okay, military logistics, leadership, training, logistics. Well, army command, go. I'm gonna try to get better troops, which is of course quite important. And there we are, the Savage Wastelands. So now that you have settled and ruling your nation, you must face the harsh realities of the Savage Wastelands. Though new nation states are rising from the radiated wastelands of post-apocalyptic North America, the wastelands are still filled with all manner of dangerous inhabitants. Packs of dangerous mutated beasts, brutal raider bands, independent tribals, renegades, outcasts, deathclaws, feral ghouls, and rogue robots. Oh yes, the Wastelands is still a very dangerous place. With the growing power of your nation, you can defeat the Wasteland Marauder units and start to pacify the Wastelands. It will be very dangerous, but also a great opportunity to grow your nation. Of course, your rivals will be expanding into the Wastelands as well. Marshal our armies, the race is on. April Fool's Day, of course. And at this point, somewhere in some place of the Wastelands, we're going to see some things happening. Of course, we can't march into there yet, no matter what it tells us. Or even if we could, it's not going to have any effect. Yeah, get that. Moo, I say. Wow. Interesting. Despite what it tells us, we still cannot go in and do anything. But don't worry. Something is going to happen eventually. Oh, what the heck is this? Enclave secret program. Ooh. Mr. President, the destruction of our Poseidon oil rig facility caused many casualties among our forces, including your predecessor's security detail. But not everyone was killed. We executed Secret Emergency Order 3172C, authorized personally by President Dick Richards himself, and engaged suspended animation protocols for Special Agent Frank Corrigan, who is a monster. His body was heavily damaged, but his tissues are still alive and held in a cryosleep chamber. We could try to rebuild the shattered body using highly experimental techniques we have developed. This could be very unpopular with our forces. As you know, Agent Corrigan was a heavily modified soldier. Some of the men might think he no longer is human. But I assure you, Mr. President, his gene stock mostly falls within defined human parameters. Should we proceed? Try to say yes. Decreases our resources that we have. Actually quite a lot, considering we don't really have a lot of supplies. And is going to give us an event later. Or no. Also increasing our descent. We're going to be doing that. Oh, mutant monsters. There we are. So to the north of what is left of Mexico and south of the Mexican Raiders, which is this little area down here. This is the remnants of Mexico, and this is the Mexican Raiders. There is an extremely dangerous there is a wild, untamed no man's land. This area is extremely dangerous and filled with giant mutated creatures of the deadliest kind. Here, rats, scorpions grow to the size of small houses. There is an explosion of mutant creatures in that dead zone. And there we are. That is the first Wasteland event that tells us what is happening. You can read this for yourself, pausing the game. And checking out the flavor description. But essentially, this wasteland area, Wastelands, is going to be occupied by Marauders, which is this other political entity. And these are at war with us. If we open diplomacy, well, actually, no, they're not. But soon enough, we're going to declare war on the Marauders. As you can see over here, there's also some for us. fight. Soon enough, at least. Savage cannibals and slavers. Evil. Yeah, as you can see, there's a bunch of these popping up all throughout. Even Vancouver Island is not safe. There we are. Let's get some extra economy. Can't go for new money yet. It's too advanced. But we can go with some more industrial tech, hopefully. No, that's bullshit. I do not have any of this. I'm gonna go with trade. Yeah, sure. Enclave board. And that's it. I'm gonna leave you at that for now. This will be uploaded relatively slowly compared to my other runs. Relatively less important. Of course, depending on your reception, it might, might get increased. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I will see you soon. And ooh, there's even stuff here that we can deal with, like right now. So that's very, very quickly. Amphibious assault, and this is what we're gonna do next time. We're gonna start to go in and deal with these annoying wasteland marauders. I'll see you soon. Hope you have enjoyed.